Hello students, this is your instructor, and some of you were having difficulty in understanding the assignment question in your assignments for medical terminology. So I'm reviewing a few pointers with you, so please review this before doing your assignment so you can have a better understanding of how to attempt these tables for your medical terminology. So if you can see, we have a question here, and you have a similar question in your assignments. You always want to make sure you read the clue up here, okay? The clue is giving you the information of what you're trying to find. Inflammation of the small intestine and colon. Now remember, you have columns given. 1, 2, 3 columns. Each one has 3 rows to make you understand what words are you choosing from each column. So whichever word is right here, you're going to write it down here, okay? Whichever word is right on the second column, you're going to write it down here. Same thing for the last column. So you're basically choosing 3 medical parts to put them down to make the correct term that means inflammation of the small intestine and colon. So remember, entero, coli, gastro, and ileo. Which one is the small intestine or the colon? Okay, it could be this because it's small intestine. Coli could be colon, which is also correct. So you can choose either one of them because they're both the correct answer. You're choosing either one of them. But when you come to this, you have also colon and also entero. It can be any combination, doesn't matter. You can say enterocolitis, or you can say coloenteritis. Usually it's enterocolitis because you can see we don't have any other words attached to it, any vowels attached to it. So we are going to use enterocolitis. Okay, once you understand the terms, you'll figure it out yourself. So we choose small intestine and colon. So small intestine is entero. Colon is col, C-O-L, and itis is inflammation. So I'm going to write down entero here, and then C-O-L here for colon, and itis here for inflammation. My answers, this is what I'm looking for your answer, okay? I don't want you to put the whole word in one box. No, every box has to be giving me the right term from the right column, sorry. Okay, so make sure you follow that and write down the answers as I mentioned to you. Okay, so just to review the different parts of a medical terminology, we have a root, a prefix, a suffix, and a combining vowel. What is a root word? A root word is always the fundamental part of the medical terminology, which is what we are talking about. Let's say pericardium. Pericardium is a word that is concentrated and focused upon the word cardi. Cardi is the heart. The heart, and we're putting additional words in the front, at the end to make a meaning out of it, but we're still talking about the heart, and heart is the root word, also called as cardi or cardio. Prefix is the medical part that comes in the beginning of the medical terminology. That is why you see a dash always at the end of the prefix, showing that it's always going to be in the beginning. It is a beginning of the medical part. Peri, so remember, peri is the starting part of your medical terminology. So we are going to use it as a prefix. And prefix, peri, means something that's surrounding the heart. Okay, so peri means surrounding. Suffix is at the end of the medical terminology. That is why you see a dash in the beginning. Modifying the word root, for example, itis. Itis is at the end of the medical terminology, right? Peri is your prefix. Card is your root word. Itis is the inflammation, or the last word at the end of the medical terminology, called a suffix, means inflammation. So just like we talked about the pericardium, meaning something that surrounds the heart. It is actually the layer of the heart that is outside of the heart. If we call it pericarditis, it means inflammation of the layer surrounding the heart. Combining vowel, anytime you have to put the word, put an additional vowel to make the word pronounceable. For example, cardiomyopathy. If we don't have these O's, it will be difficult for us to pronounce it, right? So that therefore we have to always add a vowel, whichever I, O, E, A, U. Anytime we put that vowel to a root word, we call it a combining vowel. So cardio is a combining word, actually, not a vowel, combining word. What I'm saying here, it should be word, combining word, okay? So any root word that needs a vowel attached to it, we call it a combining word. So let's review some of them. Here we have hematology. Okay, do you see how we have to attach a combining vowel? And then this combining vowel with the root word is called a combining word. Hemat is your root word. It's not a prefix, remember, because it is the root word. It is part of the body. Not always will you have a prefix attached. So hemat means blood. It is the root of the medical terminology in this word. O, as we discussed, a combining vowel. Logy means study of. In the medical terminology, it is a suffix. So do you see how we are breaking things into so many words? All the words that you see on the top are your medical term parts of the medical term. A root part, a combining vowel part, a suffix part. Their meanings are different. Blood and study of. Hematology means what? Yes, study of blood. So we can change the root word with any other word. For example, if we put the heart, right, that means cardiology. We can make it cardiology. If we put the study of life, life being the biology. You can put anything in front of it as the root word and make it the study of that particular root word that you're talking about. Another example, osteoarthropathy. Osteo is root. Arthro, again, another root. This has two root. No prefix. Pathy, suffix. What do they mean? Bone, joint, disease. So what does it all together means? Disease of the bone and the joint. There's one more thing I want to show you. It's called a card method. And remember, when you make a word or put a word together, how do you translate it? First you check, okay? So you have glossitis. You're checking what does the word actually has, what part does it have. Then you assign the meaning, tongue, inflammation, right? The meanings of the two medical parts, root and suffix. Then you reverse it for the meaning. When you want to figure out the meaning, you always reverse it. Because you don't say tongue inflammation, you will say inflammation of the tongue. This is what is called as check, assign, reverse, and define. A few more examples of the prefix. As you can see, epi means above or upon. Epigastric, epi means above. Gastro means stomach. IC means pertaining to. So pertaining to, above the stomach. Anything that is above the stomach, we will use the word epigastric. Hyper, we all know. Hyperglycemia means, hyper is of course above or excessive. Glyco means sugar. Emia means a condition, so blood condition of excessive sugar. Hypo, below, opposite of hyper, right? Below. So we can say hypoglycemia too. If you say hypoglycemia, you're switching it from excessive to below. Hypo means below. And below, hypoglossal means, the glossal word means the tongue. AL means pertaining to. Hypo means pertaining to below the tongue. Inter, intra, these are all your prefixes. As you can see, there's a dash at the end of each prefix. A few more suffixes. You can pause and review them and try to make a good understanding out of it. Let's go to the suffix. There are some suffixes here. And remember, I told you suffix will always have a dash in the beginning because it's at the end of the word. For example, let's say if you're talking about graphy, we have heard mammography all the time. So what are we talking about? The word mammo is a combining word, root word, meaning breast. Graphy means to record. Recording the breast is mammography. Another very common word that we use is scopy. Scopy means to view. Esophagogastroduodenoscopy means you are putting a scope through the esophagus, into the stomach, into the duodenum, and viewing the esophagus and all those organs. Another picture I can show you is this. Do you see how when you put an endoscope into the mouth, you go to the esophagus, gastro, which is the stomach, duodenal, which is the duodenum. So if you're viewing these three areas, this is what the name of the diagnostic procedure means, esophagogastroduodenoscopy. A few more terms I want you to review. Pause it, review it, take your time and understand them. They're also given in your book, of course, but it's always good to review and create an understanding. Here I have different meanings. You can use one root and attach all these suffixes to it. Ophthalmoplasty, ophthalmology, ophthalmoscopy. Ophthalmo means eyes. Ortho means ear. Orthoplasty, orthology, orthoscopy. Gastro, gastroplasty, gastrology, gastroscopy. So do you see how many root words we have and how many root words can attach to different suffixes with different meanings, right? So basically the idea is to understand how we break down these words. These are some more words for you. Pause it, review it, break it down, look at the different meanings of it so you have a good understanding of what you're doing. And at the end, I'm going to do another example with you for your assignment. Remember, we did one before. There's another example of the same questions that you have on your assignment. Not the same question, but similar to it. So first of all, we always look at the clue. What is the definition of it? What am I looking for? Inflammation of the inner layer of the heart. Remember, we talked about pericardium. Peri was above or outside. Here, we're looking for inner layer of the heart. So we have three columns with three words. How are we going to answer the question? We are going to review all of them, put the word together, put the different parts together, and we're going to find the right words. So from here, you can see endo is the right word. So I'm going to write down endo in my last box of the first column. The second word, correct word, is card. Remember, I'm not putting itis anymore because itis already has an I. So I don't have to put a vowel in front of cardio. Okay? So I'm not going to use these three. All I'm going to do is to write card. That's it. Itis is the inflammation. So I'm going to write itis here. Okay? Now I have the correct answer. Endocarditis, meaning inflammation of the inner layer of the heart, which is the answer I am looking from you in these boxed medical parts so that you understand how did you break them down, how did you put them together, and what is your answer. Okay, so please stay in touch with me if you have any more questions. I will be more than happy to assist. Have a great day.